On here, idiots.
Hello.
Kenny Mayne.
How you guys doing? I'm out in Los Angeles, some bonus work. I'm selling grape nuts. It'll change your life.
Well, we're in a recession, Kenny, so you have to do what you have to do, you know? What were your thoughts when the whole A-Rod thing came out last week?
Here's what I would say in his defense. I thought, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was supposed to be an anonymous test, and it was done as a sampling to find out how bad the problem was so that when the new rules were going into effect, they would have sort of a baseline. All right, here's how bad the problem is. Here's what we've got to do to make the penalty stronger and the testing better and so forth. And then 6 years later, he gets outed. Yes, he shouldn't have taken steroids or whatever the heck he says his cousin, shot in his butt, Fruit Loops, I don't know, whatever it was. Think of the counter. So yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. However, in a sense, to me, it seems like inadmissible evidence. It wasn't supposed to be revealed. It was supposed to be a test that took place to find out what was going on. Anonymously, they were all told, and no one else was supposed to get their hands on it. And it's just odd to me that now he's being vilified, obviously, for all those who didn't like him in the first place, given his status with all the money and everything else. But the whole thing's unfortunate. I wish baseball had gotten involved in the problem much sooner. We're talking, what was that, 2003 and 2004 for instituting those things. I might have suspected years before that, but nothing much was being done.
Do you think A-Rod gets into the Hall of Fame first ballot?
You know what? I got a feeling by the time that comes, people will look at the long view of it and let it go,
right.
I guess. But I'm one who thinks Pete Rose should be forgiven.
Right.
I
agree.
I do too.
I never heard a story that he ever bet to lose. He never tanked a game.
Now, do you think Barry Bonds will get into the Hall of Fame first ballot?
That one's interesting, but the recency here, and sometimes, it's human nature comes into play. He's never had a great relationship with a lot of those who end up doing the voting. He did hit the home runs, There were a whole lot of home runs being hit that never got hit before. Back in the old days, 50 was a huge number.
Okay, so Kenny, what's your thoughts on the whole Michael Phelps situation?
I'd be mad at the kid who disseminated the picture, whoever that was. Boy, that's a complicated and an issue ESPN might not want me to fully get into. But I guess I would say, I agree with what he said afterward, that he is young. Mm-hmm. Like I don't damn him for it. Like, oh, he's a terrible person now. He smoked marijuana. Hopefully, he whatever good name he allegedly lost because of that, from those who took that view, that he gets it back. Because obviously he's a great athlete, and, it's an illegal thing, so in that sense
But at least we know you can smoke pot and swim,
We have some other crimes going on in this country that could use some attention.
Right. And we're just running down the sports stars. What about Plaxico Burress? What's your thoughts on his situation?
We're just going down the dark path of tough stories here, aren't we? Yes, I would not carry guns out to nightclubs.
Do you think the Giants will take him back?
He can help the team. I see them trying to find a way to work it out.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm happy for Eli because I know he got a lot of abuse. He's a real good guy, and I thought it was pretty cool that he, to win the Super Bowl one time in your life, that's going to be enough for most people. If he can do it again, that's great, but he already did it. So
yeah, but they're still drilling him. They're still drilling him, Kenny.
I think it's nuts. Now that he got a little more maturity and, he's not necessarily his brother, but then again, he's not in the same offense, So, right. That's not really even the same comparison.
You've been on ESPN for over a decade, and now you have this show, Mayne Street. Talk to us about Mayne Street a little bit.
Well, it took a little while. It felt like it took a decade to get it on, actually. And I've been there since '94, so that's 15 years coming up here. I had some friends who had worked at ESPN previously, a guy named Josh Shelov and Todd Pellegrino, and he came to me and said, can we pitch this to your bosses? So their intent was to make it a television show. It just didn't seem like it was ever going to happen. So eventually, our boss, John Skipper, was like, why don't we just stick it on the Internet? There's no limitations of space there. And we got it together and put it out, and it was in November through, I think, late January. We ran like 15, 16 episodes. And right now we're getting ready to return and do it some more. So you can still find them. You just go to ESPN.com, put in Mayne Street, M-A-Y-N-E.
That's not a bad place to start right there on ESPN.com with all the traffic and everything. And that will probably end up on the airwaves.
I think the truth is we really can do a little bit of everything. Bass fishing to college basketball to pro football, obviously, car racing,
right.
Little entertainment here and there. You got blogs. In fact, we have Lil Wayne as one of our bloggers. In fact, that's my connection to you guys, is it not?
Yeah, absolutely. You got interviewed by Lil Wayne, and you said you liked the song that you heard on Hot 937.
He's been doing a little extra, I think, helping promote some of his work by getting in on the ESPN side. He's a big sports fan, and he's done some blogging. So we had this big Super Bowl party. It was a huge event. I mean, it was actually a very fun thing. The after party was at International House of Pancakes, by the way. Interviewing people. So for no reason at all, I started imitating a song, and it just came out. I just remember I heard it on that channel, driving back one night.
Now, when are you going to have as much tattoos as Lil Wayne, Kenny?
I don't know if that would work for me. We did one episode in our Mayne Street called Tattoos, where this girl, the premise was that I'm losing touch with the young audience, and people were devising, all right, what can he do to, hip himself up, and it became get a tattoo, and I went to Michael Kim to ask him for, like, some great Chinese saying, but then he reminded me that he's Korean, so that didn't work out. But we ended up putting a fake tattoo on me, as it was.
We know that you're an UNLV alumnus. Going back some years, let's go back to the NCAA championship game. UNLV, Duke.
I'm trying to figure that one out still. Yeah.
I have my thoughts on that game because there was no way possible that Duke could win that game.
Yeah. So I played football there way back when. I'm still suffering for it. I'm limping around on my ankle. But I played like 79, 80, 81. That's really showing age.
You actually were picked up by the Seahawks.
Yeah, I was kind of a mercy signing to my coach or something. See, the kid who played ahead of me, this guy named Sam King, was the starter. I was just second string, and he was offered a deal with Seattle and turned it down to try some other things, Canada and maybe USFL after that. So my coach talked them into looking at me, but I ended up failing the physical for the ankle that I was just talking about. But I did get to go to school for free and meet some great people. I got to play with Randall Cunningham one season, so that was a thrill. I'm still friends with him. Now,
what made you want to do the second season of Dancing with the Stars? Have you ever danced before, or did you just want to try it? Or
no, they'd have to put a gun to my head to get me to dance again. But I have been back every season with Jerry Rice and Len, the judge, the elderly judge, and good man though. And we do this sort of like a sports cast regarding dancing. It's called Dance Center, kind of ripped off Sports Center.
Right.
So we've been doing that, and they just called the other day. In fact, I think I'll be doing it again in April for airing in May. It's fun. I mean, it's an ABC show. We're related to them, and good guys that I'm working with. And Jerry's so funny because remember when he was the player, he was just a straight arrow, mild mannered. Barely spoke a word about himself. And I think we got him out of his shell in this dancing thing here. Now he's an actor. He's flamboyant at this point.
Who's a better dancer, you or Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp. No, I'm not. Believe me. Only thing I could do is guest hand claps to any Stevie Wonder song if they me on for that.
Okay, now once again, Kenny Mayne is on the line. How well do you think your knowledge is of hip hop music?
None.
None?
I'm old. I just stick with what I know. I could be your father here. You guys are probably. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, I could be your uncle. I'm not. It's not like I don't get it or don't like it. It's just that I don't know it.
Kenny, we got to get you liking it so that you can get invited to a 50 Cent party at the mansion.
You know what? We had an idea for use with 50 Cent and it just didn't work out. It sounded like he was halfway interested, but he had too much travel going. But it would have been fun right when his latest album was coming out. We were trying to do something fun with him. But, have him show up, and I'll be involved. I'll bring popcorn and beef jerky.
We can get you in there, Kenny. We can get you right in there.
Let's do it.
Now, what's your favorite This Is Sports Center commercial that you've been in?
I really think it was Staring at Cloud Shapes with Dikembe Mutombo. we were, and he has that great voice, the raspy voice, and it's like, look, that cloud looks like George Washington. Very good, Dikembe Mutombo, I know, but that, and there was one way back with Stuart, Scott, and I, and we were with Kobe and Keyshawn. This is way back when they were rookies, and the idea was that we were telling them to be tougher, and they got to claim that they're the man, that they got to be bold about who they are. They can't be meek as rookies. And in the middle of it, Keyshawn just like, why is that the line? Like, I am the man. Like, he already knew it. But the other one was also with Stuart. It was the Big Buddy program. We were supposed to be giving back to the community and playing little kids in basketball. And immediately Stuart and I, like, our competitive instincts took over, and we started, Stuart was checking a kid who's like 4 feet tall, and I was screaming at the kids to pass me the ball. So my wife didn't like that one. She thought it was mean, but that was sort of the joke that we've got out of character.
All right, Kenny, we appreciate you checking in and taking some time out of your busy schedule.
Okay, I'd like you to play Black Orchid. You guys got to look it up if you don't have it. It's called The Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants, 1979.
Is this Michael Phelps' favorite song?
I don't know about him. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
On your idiots.